Hello, everyone. It's Make a Move Mike, also known as Michael Harris of Realty Executives Dealing. I'm here with Andy Cruz of Mortgage Heroes, and today we're going to be discussing where and how should I start the home selling process. So thank you for joining us today to watch our video. So here we go. Number one, get all the decision makers together and develop a plan. What's next? Where are we moving to? Are we buying again? Are we remaining in the area? You want to make sure everyone is all on the same page, or at least that is my suggestion, because
that's preferred. Yes. You don't want to be on different pages. No. That'll lock stuff up quick.
From my experience, things work 10 times better, maybe even 100 times better, when everyone's all on the same page 100. And there's no surprises. So get all the decisions makers together, mom, dad, kids, they're all going to be affected by this decision when you sell the home. So I think it's better as a family that you kind of, make sure everyone's included when coming to the decision of selling your home. So next thing I want to discuss is call me. Find an agent that you've either know personally, or someone that has had a great experience with that agent. Either that person may be a friend, family member, or a peer at work, you name it. But I guarantee you that if you find the right person that you have a good rapport with, you have a good relationship with, and you're comfortable with, and you know that they're going to do a great job for you, I highly recommend working with that individual or team, if you will.
Yeah, and this is actually a really important. It sounds like it's super simple, but what sometimes happens is people will go out on their own and try to get a lot of information, which sometimes you have to unwind once you finally make that call to the realtor. So I would say you call that trusted realtor as early in your decision-making process to sell as possible, so that they can help you develop the plan and ask and answer the right questions. Because sometimes we just want to rush to the internet to answer the questions, when the internet, the information that's there may not be as relevant in the time perspective, or it may not be relevant to our specific situation as sellers. So it's really important to talk to an agent who can in real time talk to you about what's happening in your specific neighborhood and how you can take advantage of the market.
Right, and to your point, it's sometimes you get information on the internet that's more specific to an area outside of your state, outside of your city, you name it.
Too general.
Yes, it doesn't.
And it's always aging. Once it's on the internet, it's only getting older.
Yes,
it's always getting further and further in rearview mirror. Now, I'm not saying that there's bad information only, but I mean you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, it has to be applicable to you and your current situation.
Correct.
So, next thing, you get the selling consultation, also known as the listing presentation, with someone like myself, a realtor or real estate agent. That's the appointment where we meet, we go over everything that's important to you and about selling your home, and we set expectations from what you can expect from me as your agent, what I expect from you as the homeowner and who's selling their home, and come to some clarity on what questions you may have and what you can and cannot expect from me as your agent, and what I can and cannot expect from you as the home seller. Next, you got obviously once you come to those agreements, you have the listing agreement. You sign the listing agreement. That's just the beginning. We start the next process, which things will get rolling really quick from there. One thing I always recommend to homeowners is to start decluttering, start depersonalizing your home. And you may be asking, what do I mean by that? Decluttering, just get rid of things in your home that may or may not should not be in certain areas of the home. You want to leave as much space and openness for people that are going to tour that home, so they can visualize it as their own. And what I mean by depersonalize is, I always suggest that prior to doing photos and, with a photographer, remove all your personal photos from the home so they're not on the internet forever.
Yes.
Just a suggestion.
Well, and the other thing is you want the buyer to envision themselves in the house like you're mentioning, and it's hard to do that because they literally have to overcome what they're visualizing, which is your family in that place and your things in that place. Right. So if they're thinking about, well, my kid's picture is going to be on this hall, well, already that idea is obstructed by the picture of your kid in the hall, right? And then my furniture needs to fit in this place, but sometimes the furniture is bigger than the room calls for, and you need to make space because they got to think, oh, okay, will my stuff fit in here? So that it may be small or it may sound meticulous, but it actually does matter. Think about it when you go into a model home for brand new development. Yeah. They have a pretty generic, depersonalized setup in their staging intentionally. They know what they're doing. It's not because they can't put pictures of real people in there. They just don't, and there's a reason. Yeah. Also, the other thing I want to mention is this does not depersonalize you, okay? This does not depersonalize you as a family, your spouse, your kids, and the things that you own. It's not because the things you have are not good enough. It's just that they're yours. That's all it is. It's just yours. They need to see as much of themselves in that house as possible.
Right. And so the next step in this process, what I would do is begin ordering the signpost to be placed in your yard if you decide to have a signpost, because some homeowners decide not to for whatever reason. That's their reason, and I just go with it. Next, as I mentioned earlier, schedule professional photos to be done by a photographer as well as a virtual tour video. So you want to make sure that your home shows well when it's online, because if it's not compelling, it's not selling. Just thought I'd put that out there. Now, the next thing, we're going to list it on the MLS. And in this market right now, when you list something on the MLS, it seems like you start getting phone calls within the first half hour, sometimes sooner. From what some agents have told me, they've gotten phone calls within 10 minutes after listing your home on the market, because it's a hot seller's market. So you can expect that. Yeah. And then another thing that you really want to get prepared for that some people don't prepare for, but that's one of those things that you set. One of those things you can alleviate by setting expectations when you have that listing presentation or that seller consultation, and that's open houses. Open houses are back, everyone. Everyone's doing them on the weekends. You're going to start.
And they're packed.
Yes, you're going to see more and more signs on the corner or throughout the neighborhoods, and more people driving around, going to open house, touring homes, because this is the time of year. And again, with the world opening back up, they're allowing us to do them again. So
and people are hungry to go back to homes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got the showing requests. How are we going to schedule those? Who's going to schedule those? Do you want to be contacted for those showing requests? Who's going to put the dog away? Who's going to put the cat away? Who's going to, you have to take these.
Where are you going to go for the 3 or 4 hours? Yes. You got to be out of the house.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're going to have showing requests back to back in some cases. But if it's on a weekend, that's when you schedule an open house, and then you can just leave for a 4-hour period. That's what I suggest. But yeah, the showing requests can get pretty crazy, especially if you're working.
Yes,
you're a working individual, professional,
but it's all for the cause. It's all for the eventuality of the house being sold and you getting the money out of your house that you're looking for.
Right, and I know there might be some concerns about security. Well, we have central lock boxes and other lock boxes that I'll receive a notification of who's entering that property at that time. It leaves me their name, their brokerage, so you don't have to be concerned so much. You don't have to be too concerned about worrying about
who's in your house,
who's in your home.
And when you're doing an open house, you're there. So
right. And one way to prepare for those things is make sure you put away your valuables. I know some homeowners own, expensive jewelry. Some homeowners are law enforcement and they have weapons, so you got to make sure you have a safe to put those things away. Right. Lock and key. Yeah. And these are just a few things just to kind of prep you for open houses and showing requests. Next thing, you're going to start receiving and reviewing a ton of offers. I know agents who are getting 20 plus offers. Yeah. And reviewing them with their homeowner, their home seller. And I always, if you get 20, 25 offers,
That's a lot.
That's a
that,
lot.
That is a lot of work. And it's not like it's written on a napkin and it's just one line. The offers are extensive.
Yes.
And nowadays, Mike and I had done another video talking about how it's important for buyers to be creative in creating solutions that are of equal value to the buyer and the seller, so that you can select that buyer over all the other ones.
Yes.
So let's say you have 22 or 23 offers to go through. You have to go through every single one of them and then be able to communicate that as the agent to the seller and go, hey, here's situation A for this person, B for this person, C for this one. 22 times, 23 times. Yeah. And it's not just here's the number. Yeah. I mean, and we've talked about that too, where, the number isn't the end all be all when it comes to selling a house. Yeah. Sometimes the terms, conditions, and the circumstances weigh in addition to the number on why you would select one buyer's offer over another. And that takes a good amount of time. If you're a good agent like Mike is, you're going to take your diligent time to do it properly and present all the offers in their fullness so that everything is understood and that you as a seller are making the absolute right choice by knowing everything, not just the number.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how many should I review? Well, that's dependent on you. Some sellers review all 20, 25. Some just want to look at the top 5 and be efficient with their time. So,
and candidly, some buyers self-select out. I mean, in a market like this, if you're offering less than list price, you're self-selecting yourself out of a group of 22.
Yes.
You're going to be number 22 if right away you're saying, I'm unwilling to pay what you're asking. Well, okay, that's already not going to work. So
going to the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, that you got to put yourself in a good position. So, and sellers, be aware. I mean, it's your house. You do not have to sell it to anyone. You're going to only pick one person or one offer out of all those 22. You have the right to be a little bit selective.
Yeah. So the next step in this process, or one of the next steps, is accepting your offer after reviewing those 20 plus offers, or 5, and opening escrow. And once you open escrow, that's when things really start to get moving. Timing is of the essence.
Yes.
You have your contingency period. As a seller, you're going to be required to submit a seller property questionnaire which details things about your property. You're going to have disclosures to sign, disclosing things about what you know about the property. For example, if the refrigerator works, or if the stove works, or if you have this issue going on, plumbing leaks, or whatever the case may be, you're going to have to disclose that as a seller to the buyer during this process. So just FYI.
Be prepared for that, because there is some paperwork.
Yes.
It does require a certain level of detail, which is important because you don't want to be on the hook for anything because you improperly disclosed or chose not to disclose something you should have.
Right. And the next thing we want to discuss is preparing for the move. We in the beginning of the conversation or this video, we discussed where are you moving to next. Are you buying again? Are you renting again? Are you staying in the area? Are you moving out of state? Are you moving back home? These things, prepping for the move is going to probably start a little bit ahead of where we are right now. That's going to start at the beginning, and then it's going to mature as we go along throughout the process.
Yes.
And now the final thing is funding.
Yes.
So the buyer's loan funds, and you close escrow. Now you're going to hand over the keys to your agent, who will hand them over to the buyer's agent, and you move on to your next destination in life. And the new happy buyer homeowners are moving into your new home, or your home. So,
and you have your money for whatever it is you need to use it for next. In most cases, that's moving to the next house. But for some people, they're just stashing that money in their pocket right now.
Yeah. And moving
to temporary solution.
Yeah, people are moving within the area. They're moving out of state. They're cashing out. Moving to Vegas, buying a home, or moving down south, buying a home cash.
A lot of people going to south right now.
Yeah. It's a little less expensive to live out there. So
I heard it's more humid. Is that true?
Yes. I lived in South Carolina for 3.5 years, so yes. But
closing is exciting.
Yes.
Closing is like, we made it. We got to the end destination. You get through all these steps Mike and I are talking about right now. You get to closing and you're done. That's exciting. That's an exciting and fun day.
Very exciting. So thanks everyone for watching this video today, about how and where you should start the home selling process. I know we went through a lot. That's still not every little thing that, can happen during this process. I think we covered most of what can occur or what you'll expect through the home selling process. But again, we want to thank you for joining us for this video today. If you have any questions about home selling, please reach out to us via email, drop a comment below, follow our YouTube page, follow us on all social media platforms. Reach out to us any way you feel comfortable, and we'd be happy to help you out. So thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of your week.